this episode, we go from the predominantly Western concept of strength to the Eastern belief of energy flow through the body. We cover the topics of weight training, nutrition, and discuss the holistic approach of acupuncture, which is based on the traditional Chinese medicine concept of unblocking the flow of energy to prevent diseases. Do you feel the need to put on some muscles to get that much sought-after toned look? Do you need strength to function at your physically demanding work more easily? Or are you looking for increased strength to complement your sports training? Weight training programs can address these varied concerns. Weight training has been in our consciousness ever since we could remember. In fact, progressive resistance training dates back to ancient Greece, where legend has it that wrestler Milo of Croton trained by carrying a newborn calf on his back every day until it was fully grown. In the 1800s, events were held with flamboyant displays of strength, and every performer wanted to bill themselves as the world's strongest man. The sport of weightlifting made its first Olympic appearance at the 1896 Games. By the 1932 Olympic Games, 5 weight divisions had been established, and competition featured 3 disciplines: the press, snatch and clean, and jerk. The concept of bigger is better and no pain, no gain is moving towards holistic approach to health and strength. Programs are now seriously considering possible injuries and long-term effectiveness. There's also a trend towards practical applications of strength and not just lifting heavy weights. Inside the gym also, we used to have a male-dominated arena, which recently has undergone a shift with women having discovered the benefits of weight training. More and more women realize the value of overall health and the improved physical appearance brought about by muscle toning. Strong is the new sexy. Though the philosophy and goals of weight training changes, the basic concept of improving the body's appearance and strength holds true. Weight training is a common type of strength training for developing the strength and size of skeletal muscles. It uses the weight force of gravity on weighted bars to oppose the force generated by muscle. Weight training uses a variety of specialized equipment and types of movement to target specific muscle groups. As a base guide, weight training has several safety precautions that should be observed. First off is to determine what level of fitness are you in. We cannot overly emphasize the importance of finding the right routine that is suited to your physical capacity. Talk to a physical trainer at a gym to determine your fitness level. This is a key factor in preventing yourself from overexerting. While you're at it, discuss with him your goals so he can advise you a routine that will be best suited for you. Your ultimate goal should dictate your weight training program. If you want to lose fat, you may decide to go the circuit training route and keep rest periods between sets very short. If your goal is muscle gain, you will probably want to choose progressive lifting of weight complemented by a right diet. Identify a clear goal and then pick the exercise, sets, reps, and training schedule that best address it. Especially for beginners, it is recommended to focus on your form on the first few weeks of training. Do not worry about anything else but learning and using the perfect form. Getting the exercise technique right at the beginning stage is extremely important, both as a safety precaution against injuries and in achieving desired muscle form. After you have perfected the proper form, you can now focus on the number of reps and increase weights. Remember to do this in increments. For example, you have been learning proper form on the bench press for weeks using a 40-pound weight. You then do 3 sets of bench presses using that same 40 pounds on all 3 of your sets. On your next training, you then increase the weight by the smallest possible increment, which is usually at 5 pounds, the next time you bench press. You will then aim to do 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps again with this new slightly heavier weight, 45 pounds in this example. And when you are capable of doing that, you will increase the weight again by about 5 pounds the next time you bench press, and then keep repeating this process over and over. To get really strong, you need to know when to go heavy and when to back off to allow continued progress. You can alternate heavy and light workouts, or gradually build up your weights while cutting the volume of sets and reps. Heavy training is stressful and requires time for recuperation, so make sure you lighten your load every 4 weeks and take an occasional week off. Make sure that your program contains exercises that cover different muscle groups so you can be guaranteed of an overall body development. As a general guide, each of your routines should have 1 leg exercise, push exercise, pull exercise, and a core exercise. Leg exercises include squats, deadlifts, and lunges. Push exercises include bench press, overhead press, and pull exercises. Core exercises includes reverse crunches, raises, and planks. We will show you 2 basic weight training exercises. These are the dumbbell bench press and the leg press. Dumbbell bench press. This exercise works your chest muscles, shoulders, and triceps. Number 1. Sit on the edge of the bench with a dumbbell on each hand, resting on top of your thighs and your feet flat on the floor. Number 2. Slowly lie down, using your thighs to help raise the dumbbells up. Lift the dumbbells one at a time so that you can hold them in front of you at shoulder width. Number 3. Pull your abdominals in and tilt your chin towards your chest. Let your back keep a natural arch so that you have a slight gap between your lower back and the bench. Number 4. Once at shoulder width, rotate your wrist forward so that the palms of your hands are facing away from you. The dumbbells should be just to the sides of your chest, with your upper arm and forearm creating a 90-degree angle. Be sure to maintain full control of the dumbbells at all times. This will be your starting position. Number 5. Then, as you breathe out, use your chest to push the dumbbells up. Lock your arms at the top of the lift and squeeze your chest. Hold for a second and then begin coming down slowly. Ideally, lowering the weight should take about twice as long as raising it. Don't contort your body in an effort to lift the weight. Lift only as much weight as you can handle while maintaining good form. Number 6. Repeat the movement for the prescribed amount of repetitions of your training program. The advantage of this bench press is that it allows for full range of motion. It also forces each arm to carry an equal workload, preventing muscle imbalances. Leg press. Main muscles targeted are the quadriceps. The leg press is a weight training exercise in which the individual pushes a weight or resistance away from them using their legs. The term leg press also refers to the apparatus used to perform this exercise. The leg press can be used to evaluate an athlete's overall lower body strength, from knee joint to hip. Using a leg press machine, sit down on the machine and place your legs on the platform directly in front of you at a shoulder-width foot stance. Lower the safety bars holding the weighted platform in place. and press the platform all the way up until your legs are fully extended in front of you. Your torso and legs should make a perfect 90-degree angle. This will be your starting position. As you inhale, slowly lower the platform until your upper and lower legs make a 90-degree angle. Pushing mainly with the heels of your feet and using the quadriceps, go back to the starting position as you exhale. Repeat for the recommended amount of repetitions. Tips and trivia. Before you start your weight training session, here are some important tips. Warm up and cool down for 5 to 10 minutes. Walking is a fine way to warm up. Stretching is an excellent way to cool down. Stay hydrated. Muscle is said to be composed of 75% water. So weigh yourself on a digital scale before and after your workout. Then drink the difference in ounces of water. Take 2 towels, one for your post-workout shower, one for your sweat-soaked equipment. Always wipe your sweat off the bench between sets as courtesy to the next user and safety precaution as well against slips. Pay attention to your breathing during your workouts. Exhale as you work against resistance by lifting, pushing, or pulling. Inhale as you release. Give muscles time off. Strength training causes tiny tears in muscle tissue. These tears aren't harmful, but they are important. Muscles grow stronger as the tears knit up. Always give your muscles at least 48 hours to recover before your next strength training session. Get plenty of rest, relaxation, and sleep, and don't overtrain. Again, this may not sound critical, but it is. Stress hormones like adrenaline, noradrenaline, and cortisol can screw up muscle development and fat loss. Healthy eating. You may think that lifting heavy weights will result to big muscles. However, if you are not taking in the right nutrition, you'll find out soon that it will just result to burning out. You need to fuel your body properly. Protein is essential for driving muscle growth, and studies show that you need at least 1 gram per pound of body weight on a daily basis. When exerting physical effort, protein is critical as it protects your muscles. The heavier you lift, the more mechanical damage your muscles undergo. The more damage means more recovery for your muscles is needed. This process requires protein. So that's roughly 225 grams per day for a 150-pounder. Good sources of quality protein include eggs, beef, poultry, fish, whey, and soy. For energy during weight training, you will also need plenty of carbohydrates, which is stored in muscles as glycogen. That's because the primary fuel sources you use when training heavy are creatine phosphate and muscle glycogen. On an average, you need about 2 to 3 grams of carbs per pound of body weight per day, and adjust it a day before participating on a big lift day. Good sources of carbs are oatmeal, brown rice, and sweet potatoes. Recent breakthrough in studies show that fats are not actually fattening and is important for general health. Research shows that athletes who maintain a higher fat intake have higher testosterone levels than those who eat lower fat diets. A great source of fat, which provide both fat and protein, is beef. Lamb is one of the richest sources of easily digestible protein. A 100-gram serving yields about 30 grams of protein. You also need ample calories each day to fuel heavy workouts. If you burn more than you eat, your body will be in starvation mode, which doesn't allow for adequate muscle regeneration, growth, or strength gains. Grilled lamb chops with crispy rosemary and sweet potatoes. 2 tablespoons of olive oil. 4 cloves garlic, peeled and sliced thin. 4 tablespoons fresh rosemary leaves. Single lean lamb chops. Salt and freshly ground black pepper. Sweet potatoes. Heat olive oil in a pan over medium-high heat. Add the sliced garlic and cook until it just begins to turn brown. Add the rosemary and continue cooking until rosemary is crispy and garlic is nicely brown. Let cool and stir in lemon zest. Prepare a hot grill. Season lamb chops and sweet potatoes with salt and pepper. Brush with oil of the marinade and grill as desired. Medium rare is recommended. Arrange on a platter and spoon solids of rosemary mixture on top and serve. Alternative treatment. Acupuncture. Acupuncture is the stimulation of specific acupoints along the skin of the body, involving various methods such as the application of heat, pressure, or laser, or usually with the penetration of thin needles. It is a form of complementary and alternative medicine. It is a key component of traditional Chinese medicine, which can be traced back at least 2,500 years. The general theory of acupuncture is based on the premise that there are patterns of energy flow called qi. Qi flows through and around your body along pathways called meridians. Disruptions of this flow in the body are believed to be responsible for diseases. Acupuncture may correct imbalances of flow at identifiable points close to the skin. Acupuncture is a way to unblock or influence qi and help it flow back into balance. Acupuncture is done by putting very thin needles into your skin at exact points on your body. This is done to influence the energy flow. Sometimes heat, pressure, or mild electrical current is used along with needles. Your acupuncturist will ask questions about your overall health, and if there is pain, where and how painful it is. Then, your acupuncturist will look for the specific points on your body to access the qi that is not flowing right. Each of the points relates to certain body functions. Your provider touches certain muscles and bones, which serves as landmarks to find the key points. After the provider finds the points, he will quickly tap thin needles into your skin. He may place several needles in one area. Some may be placed deeper than others, depending on what the provider believes is needed to restore the flow of qi. Every provider is different, but in most cases, treatment lasts for 15 minutes to an hour. You may have several visits to complete your treatment. Some people prefer to have ongoing visits. You may feel slight pressure when a needle goes in. Most people find that it doesn't hurt. The area may tingle, feel numb, itch, or be a little sore. Providers believe that this is a sign that the energy flow or qi has been accessed. After the needle is placed, your provider may roll the needle slightly back and forth, or he or she may use heat or electrical current on the needle. In general, acupuncture is safe when done by a certified provider. A state license ensures that the provider has a certain level of training and follows certain guidelines. But there are still a few states where acupuncture is not licensed. In very rare cases, problems may occur after acupuncture. You could get an infection, especially if the needles aren't sterile. But licensed providers throw away their needles after one use. Make sure your provider uses a new pack of sterile needles every time. Although in some regions, a governing body such as the FDA regulates acupuncture needles, just as it does other devices such as surgical scalpels and hypodermic syringes, under good manufacturing practices and single-use standards of sterility. The most common serious injury reported from the needles of acupuncture has been accidental puncture of the lung, which results in a partial collapse of the lung called pneumothorax. The most common infection reported from acupuncture treatments is viral hepatitis, a potentially serious infection of the liver. Other side effects include bacterial infections locally at the site of needle insertion in the skin and elsewhere in the body. Generally, side effects seem to relate to poor hygiene and lack of training of the acupuncturist, so it is important to have an accredited acupuncturist. Talk with your doctor if you have other questions about the safety of acupuncture. Acupuncture is not a widely acceptable medical practice, but several studies show the efficacy of acupuncture in adult post-operative and chemotherapy, nausea and vomiting, and in post-operative dental pain. There are other situations such as addiction, stroke rehabilitation, headache, menstrual cramps, tennis elbow, fibromyalgia, osteoarthritis, low back pain, carpal tunnel syndrome, and asthma, where acupuncture may be useful as an adjunct treatment or an acceptable alternative, or be included in a comprehensive management program. The introduction of acupuncture into the choice of treatment modalities that are readily available to the public is in its early stages. Issues of training, license, and reimbursement remain to be clarified. There is sufficient evidence, however, of acupuncture's value to expand its use into conventional medicine and to encourage further studies of its physiology and clinical value. But until then, it requires you to have an open mind. Though, it is comforting to think that energy is flowing smoothly in your body. Despite the contrasting disciplines presented in this episode, we find a similarity in applying these concepts to our daily lives. An open mind and proper knowledge are all factors which can contribute to determining the fitness program best suited for you. Do not hesitate to ask around, consult experts, hire personal trainers, research materials, and try out different forms of exercise. At the end of the day, you are still the best judge on which fitness practice is best for you. Aside from discipline and the right program, a healthy outlook is key to being physically healthy.